Hello again, everyone. It's This Week in Agribusiness meteorologist Greg Solier. We're back in for Max Armstrong. Welcome to Farm Progress Dateline Drought. Our continuing coverage of the drought of 2012 is brought to you by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. Well, a temperature roller coaster certainly has been felt over the past few days. A push of November-like weather, south winds coming back into play, a bit of a recovery underway, and it's another run of mid to late autumn-like weather conditions regarding temperature readings on those bank and barn thermometers approaching the middle part of the week. So we're back and forth there. No doubt those swings of temperature keeping livestock managers, bin and barn operators on their toes. But the bottom line at the same time, little, if any, organized precipitation is the anticipation, so it's all ahead forward still on a variety of fall-related chores, including summer crop harvest, perhaps some degree of winter wheat planting as well. Void, certainly from that aspect, will be the southern sections of the Midwest and areas of the southeastern plains. Nice to see some drought improvement there and into the Lone Star State, but farther to the north, opportunities to continue on into areas of Nebraska and the rest of the southern Midwest that did trend into a drier regime last week. Others not so fortunate with regard to that. Temperature readings expected to continue their downward trend over the second half of the week until the weekend. Unfortunately, with the milder air will come some degree of moisture. Good news with those aforementioned winter wheat seeding and planting operations. There's a need for some topsoil rejuvenation. We'll get into some of that over parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, southern Nebraska with a head to the east-northeast in that moisture over the weekend. And at that time, more significant field work delays from a harvest standpoint are expected over a wide area of the central and southern Corn Belt. In the short term of it, though, with that cold air on the move and those November readings, another round of frost and freeze over the northern and central plains, couple of sprinkles of rain, flakes of snow, and yeah, we ended that growing season as far south as east central Illinois and western Indiana the past couple of days with readings into the upper 20s there. Well, on to a look at the maps and charts over the next 6 to 10 days. It does show promise for some late season warmth and a fairly comfortable go of it over much of the Midwest, the southeastern states. This is not the greatest of news over the Pacific Northwest, northern and central Rockies, Intermountain West. That's an indicator of a warm ridge of high pressure in play and little, if any, organized precipitation expected. However, into the Cascades and Washington State approaching the middle stretch of the month, pick up on wet weather there as well as the Ohio Valley and eastern Corn Belt. So get it done while you may, where you can, the best you can, safety first. And if you didn't see it on Friday, here's a look at that updated seasonal drought outlook. It's a little bit more pessimistic according to the feds into the northern and central plains, but recharge ahead for a good part of the eastern through southern Corn Belt. That's a check on weather. Now on to Bryce Knorr and a look at markets.
No news sometimes is good news, but closure of USDA offices today for Columbus Day kept news to a minimum, and that didn't do prices any favor. The path of least resistance was lower, at least for corn and soybeans. Corn took out last week's lows early in the Sunday night session, invalidating the potential bull flag on the December chart. While I think the crop is smaller, traders look for only a token reduction from Thursday's monthly USDA crop report, helping to keep prices in check. December tried to firm at the start of the pit open in Chicago, but eventually failed, closing down 6 at 742. Soybeans also ended a little lower, but were able to hold chart support. November futures posted double-digit losses overnight, but found support above its 100-day moving average and the old resistance line from its September downtrending channel. With USDA offices closed, no new announcement of sales to China were made. Soybeans also lost almost 3% in China as their markets reopened after the Golden Week holiday. At least some rains also are forecast for dry areas of northern Brazil in the week ahead as farmers get started with planting there. November futures closed at 15.51, down a quarter. Wheat was able to buck the negative trend, though the week closed in corn trimmed gains by the end of the session. More concerns about dry conditions in Western Australia appeared to be in the market. Lack of rain caused by this year's El Niño likely have cut 200 million bushels from the crop there, compared to USDA's last estimate. There's also concern about dry weather on the northwestern plains, which is limiting establishment of the hard red winter wheat crop, though some rains are due by the plains by the end of the week. Still, the U.S. hasn't gotten any new business yet due to these weather problems, though the concerns help futures hold lows at all three exchanges. Chicago December finished up 3.5 at 861. Kansas City gained 4 to 882 3/4, and Minneapolis ended 5 higher at 924.5. Keep up with the drought situation across the country by visiting www.datelinedrought.com.